The recipe I'm going to show you today is using glycerin. I have 3 different recipes that I use, and the other 2 don't use glycerin. So I've got 3/4 cups water. I'm going to add a little bit of half and half in that. You can do milk or half and half just to make it opaque. Just a touch. Okay, to give it some opacity. And then I'm going to top that off with vegetable glycerin. A little bit more water here. You can play with your proportions. I'm just playing with this because this is, as I am writing in the article, this is just a prototype. I am making discoveries with different recipes. So this is going to be the recipe using vegetable glycerin. It's non-toxic. Everything in here is edible. The next ingredient is Knox gelatin. I've got 2 packets of Knox gelatin. Again, my other recipes. I have another recipe that uses only 1 packet per cup of water. And then finally I have tapioca flour. Not finally, excuse me. I'm using 2 tablespoons of tapioca flour for this. Dump that right in there. And this is optional. This is coconut oil. It's hard when it's cold. I'll put that in there because this is going on skin. And so it acts as a conditioner for your skin when that's in there. Taking a little spatula and let the gelatin, give it a couple of minutes for the gelatin to dissolve, and stir it very well for the tapioca flour to dissolve as well, completely. Coconut oil is not going to dissolve, so don't worry about that until you cook it. Then you're going to cook this for about 5 minutes. Depends if you have this kind of bottom, you're going to cook it more. If you have just a plain bottom on your pot, cook it for about 3 minutes. Until it starts to become translucent. You do not want to let it boil. So I've got it completely mixed. Now I'm going to take this to the stove and I will come back when it's done. Okay, I just took it off the stove. It is too hot to use right now. So we're going to let this cool to the temperature that I can touch it and it doesn't burn my skin. You don't want to let it cool too much or it will be too thick to spread. And that is the trick. Okay, I'm just going to let it sit here. While you're waiting for this, you can go ahead and print a transparency sheet. And this is an inkjet transparency sheet, not a laser jet. It won't work for with a laser jet one. Inkjet has a coat of gelatin on it, So that's what you print on. The reason I put milk in the mixture to give it some opacity is that'll be the difference between this color and this color. Not quite that bright, but it does intensify the colors when you have an opaque mixture. Okay, we're just going to wait. While we're waiting, I'm going to tell you about some of my past projects. A couple months ago, I printed out a dragon scale skin, and this piece right here actually fit my entire arm, forearm. It wrapped around it. I let it dry on top of a piece of mesh, and 2 months later I also incorporated some glitter in the original project, and this is what it dried like. Nice and hard. You can see light through it, and so the tendency of this, when it does dry, it's good to use on your skin for up to 4 days. After that, it just starts drying up and it starts shrinking this way. All right, so here's a piece I did last week, and I put it on a hard piece of plexiglass, and it shrank some, as you see right there. Here's an eye piece. This is a lizard skin. And a couple days before that, I printed the exact same skin, and I put it on a flexible. I just left it right on the transparency, and as you see, it just shrank inwards. So it's going to depend. If you want to shrink it, dry this up and use it for something else, it depends on what you put it on. So you have to consider if it's going to want to dry this way, or if you want it to dry this way and just be a thin sheet but stay fairly flat. You can need to find a way to do that, maybe on a mesh that allows air in on the back side so it can dry that like that. I made another test with just painting the mixture, this mixture on paper, and then printing on top of that, and it dried. I cannot take it off. It's dry. It is one with the paper. However, when I used a textured paper, after it dried, I could peel it off, and we have a very thin piece of printed skin, okay, all dried up. Alright, I'm calling it printed skin, and you're seeing all these hard pieces, but you are going to see in a minute what it is that I'm aiming for and why I'm calling it skin. Okay, this is still too hot. Let me show you how getting this ready to pour on. I'm going to pour it on here. I'm going to cover the print with this, and it's going to be a fairly thin layer. You can check out my article to see the different uses that the different recipes and different methods of pouring it on, thick or thin, have, because they do have different properties. Alright folks, I've reached the critical point, and now I'm going to start pouring. This is still very liquidy, but if I wait much longer, it will become suddenly too thick to spread. So I'm just going to pour this on my design. Of course, the ink side is up. I sure hope the ink side is up. Yes. That would not be fun. It worked. This is so much fun. You're gonna love it. Alright. completely covered. And it's fairly smooth, so I have no smoothing out to do. If this were a little thicker, I would have to take a spatula, something completely flat, and just smooth it out some. But this is perfect. Alright, I'm leaving some in here to use as adhesive on the skin. I'm going to let this set here for half hour, at least 20 minutes, but preferably a half hour before I touch it. Alrighty, it's been a little over half an hour, and I'm ready to pull this off of the print and see what I have here. Here's my printed skin. Okay, what I'm going to do here is flip this over onto my stiffer plexiglass. There we go. So I can let the top part dry out some. Turn over, okay. And I can just peel this side off here. Like so. So here is your skin, and you can use this as a costume. What you're going to do to put this on your own skin is just warm up some of your leftovers. Here, I'm going to just put it inside a plastic container and stick it in your microwave for 5 seconds, no more than 5 seconds, and then you can use that to glue it to your skin. Okay, there you go. Remember that this recipe has 2 packets of gelatin, so it is a little sturdier, and the longer you let it set, the sturdier it will get. So if you leave it for an hour, it will be even better. Okay. It's just so awesome. Okay, it's a little bit sticky, quite sticky on that outer side, so I'm going to take some absorbent paper and grab some of that sticky surface off there. I'm in a hurry to work with it. Okay, I warmed this up, and now you can use this as your glue. Just spread a very thin layer and let it set for about a minute, and then you can glue your piece on. And this is easy to cut. There we go. Just gonna cut the piece off here. You can cut shapes and apply as you wish. And that will stay for hours. Be sure you have all of it glued down. There should be edges. So, and then to get the ends of it, the nice thick ends of it, to lay down better, warm your knife up in hot water and just smoosh it down into your skin, and that'll kind of I will show you what that will do. Okay, here is sorry, complicates matters here. I got my hot knife. Excuse me, it will be hot as soon as I stick it in hot water. And use that to smooth out the edges against your skin. Now I'm suggesting in my article that this can be used to condition your skin. It has the coconut oil, and you can add essential oils that are medicinal. Just be sure you research well what you are adding into this mix so it doesn't burn your skin. And the other side here. Now this melting is going to take the printed part off. You can go over it with makeup to add the colors that you've lost on the very edges. Alright, now I'm going to just put this, pretend like this is your face. Put this all over in a very thin layer. On the edges here. Be sure to cover your hair. So just one of those bald heads. And I haven't waited long enough for this to set. Alright, and then you're just going to take that skin. I need two people here. Somebody help me. No one is here, so I'm going to borrow this guy here. Here's a note. Okay, your printed skin, while it is fresh, is very sticky. So, in order to keep it from sticking to your fingers, get some clear gel sanitizer and put it on your fingers, and then you can touch this and it won't stick to your fingers, okay? So you pull that off. And you just add that to your face. And it has some give. You can't, I found that it will break, for example, around your nose. So you do have to adjust it, okay? Make cuts where it's, just let that overlap. You can take your knife and smooth that down. Just cutting that, overlapping. You get the idea.